Boy, the days are just getting more and more interesting as gold and silver, which we're down a little bit today, not a whole lot. JP Morgan Gold Vault drops by 28% overnight and hits a fresh new record low as physical demand withdrawals from those vaults remains at an all-time high. And it's showing that from the daily vault depository statistics from the COMEX, JP Morgan has lost another 28% of its vaulted gold. The largest one-day withdrawal since April 25th, the result of the departure of 61% of its eligible gold, or 218,000 troy ounces, as hundreds of thousands of registered ounces of the best few weeks have seen warrant detachment, which means that as of last night, total gold held in JP Morgan's vaults has fallen to a fresh, new, all-time low of just under 550,000 ounces, down from 768,000 ounces the day before. In total eligible gold of only 136,000 ounces in inventory, or just over 4 tons, which, by the way, is also a record low. This is incredible. And like I said, they were not done dropping the price in gold and silver. They could still slam it more from where it's at today. Yes, that's correct. It could happen. While simultaneously running out of physical gold and silver, which is precisely what is happening. I can't wait for the fireworks to start. And I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, that when this gets to a brutal low of, oh my God, we're in deep, deep trouble, we can't put these fires out, so to speak, at the JP Morgan vaults. Anybody on the COMEX saying, I'm demanding delivery, gold or silver, if silver gets depleted first or gold gets depleted first, they may just do both at the same time or do one at a time. And the claim will be this: you can no longer request physical delivery of gold and silver effective next week, Monday, whatever. It'll be a Friday night, after markets close, Friday night, hey, by the way, starting Monday, you can no longer demand physical delivery of gold on the COMEX. That'll be the last thing that they will ever be able to do, because they will still claim that they can set the price. You can get the price. Any miner, any person, any vault, any hedge fund, anybody that wants physical gold and silver, we set the prices today, and you can still use our mechanism to set the prices, but you can't come here and ask for a delivery of gold and silver. That's all they have to do. Mid-game, like they always do, change the rules. Just change the rules right as everything's going along perfectly and say, oh, by the way, you can no longer demand delivery. So if you can no longer demand delivery out of the gold and silver vaults from the COMEX, they will still hold on to the mechanism that sets the price, which is their paper market. You can still go in and get a paper contract all day long. And even if everybody in the world decided, I'm going to go pull out a paper contract, what would happen? They would still control the price of gold and silver. The federal government, which has unlimited pockets financially, would be the other party who constantly moves that paper market. And if too many people got in, they would just print more paper contracts out of nothing. No gold and silver will be backing it because you can't demand physical gold and delivery anymore, or silver. So they'll just continue printing paper out of control. The rest of the world, when that happens, I have a feeling is going to say, wait a minute. Especially the mining companies. The mining companies that are getting screwed right now because they can't pull silver out of the ground for any less than $30, and yet the price is $21. So because of that, the rest of the world would either go bankrupt, and then there's going to be a massive, unbelievable decline in shortage of silver and gold, or they're going to have to allow the price to rise. And I don't think they're going to want to allow the price to rise, so they'll just have this epic thing of epic proportions, which is going to be, as the old saying goes, the golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules. And he who has the gold does not part with his gold or silver by looking at a rigged paper market that no longer allows you to collect physical gold and silver. I truly believe That will happen before, I know a lot of people talk about the COMEX default, the COMEX default. I truly believe it'll go down the way I just told you to go down before the COMEX defaults. Because if the COMEX defaults, the whole world no longer trusts the United States, doesn't trust the markets, doesn't trust the stock market, the commodities market, doesn't trust what they're paying for imports and imports of food, imports of oil, imports of gold and silver, imports of any kind, because we set the price. Therefore, they can never let the COMEX default. What they will do is what I'm telling you will more than likely happen. Again, this is my opinion. I don't know why I'm like the only one saying this for the most part. And some of the guys that have way more channel views, subscribers, notoriety, whatever, smarts than me are not saying what I just said. That they'll just change the rules mid-game and say you can no longer get delivery of gold and silver. Starting today, have a nice day. Can't get it. And they'll still want to maintain control of the price, which is using the same COMEX I just told you you cannot get it. So that's how I think this will go down. It doesn't matter, because then you may say, well, damn, then they'll just keep controlling the price of gold and silver. But as the rest of the world sees gold and silver prices are really low, I want some, but can't get any, then what? Because all of the people and companies and any kind of fund that ever went to the COMEX to begin with to constantly, whether it was a monthly basis, bi-monthly, 6 months, a year, whatever, go into the COMEX to actually use it for what it's supposed to be, which is a commodity center where you can buy and sell, exchange commodities. And they've been going there for years, every month, every, whatever. And all of a sudden they're told you can't have it anymore. Where are they going to get it from? They'll have to go out on the open market, or the world market, if you will, not the COMEX market, because they just told you can't get any more. So what else is out there, they're going to now compete for to get it in their hands, because the COMEX won't let them have it anymore. While simultaneously, the rest of us are still trying to get it. And the United States Mint's going to try to get it because they got to make the silver eagles, the gold eagles, all that stuff. This is not going to end well. But again, if you've got physical silver in your hand, you're fine. If you got a piece of paper, you are a bozo, and you will get burned. Mark my words, you will get burned.